All right, so we have Ankalaev versus Guskov this Saturday morning, not night, because the fights are in Abu Dhabi for the West. These fights start at 9 o'clock a.m. If I'm correct, yes, 9 a.m. Eastern is when the prelim starts. Now, with the first fight, of course, Ankalaev versus Guskov for the main event. As the odds suggest, this is not a close fight. This is not a close fight at all, and for good reason. And for good reason is because what can Bogdan Guskov do that Ankalaev can't? Ankalaev is the better striker. Ankalaev is the better grappler. Ankalaev is the better wrestler. In every single aspect, Ankalaev is better. Even in cardio. Guskov only has 1 to 2 rounds. Let's say 2 rounds. Guskov has 2 rounds of cardio. If I was Guskov, I would go in there round one, round two, because I know if this fight goes beyond 2 rounds, I'm screwed. If you look at all of Guskov's fights, he slows down and he slows down bad. If I was Guskov, I'd go into this knowing that if this goes beyond the second round, into the third, fourth, fifth round, I'm going to lose regardless. So I'm going to go in there and swing for the fences because Guskov does have good power. He has decent power. The problem is he doesn't have striking to take advantage of that power, right? He goes in there, he swings, sometimes he lands, sometimes he doesn't land. It's just he doesn't have the striking to set up the knockouts, right? He doesn't have the feints, he doesn't have the experience, even though he has a bunch of fights, like you could tell, like as a striker, he's not completely there fully. Like he's almost like I don't want to say novice, but like compared to Ankalaev, he's a novice, right? Ankalaev, even though everyone hates him, he's basically undefeated. The fluke submission against Paul Craig doesn't count, and in his last loss against Alex Pereira, he went in there with the rib injury, showed up for a paycheck, and went home. Right, so he's basically undefeated. And Guskov does have power, but he doesn't know how to use it. And then by the second round, he's completely gassed. And Ankalaev has 5 round cardios, and Ankalaev isn't one to have knockout power, but when someone gasses out and gasses out early, that's when your chin becomes very exposed, and the more tired you are, the more easier it is to get knocked out. And someone like Ankalaev, who has great striking, great boxing, great distance management, he's going to take his time like he always does, round one, round two. And then as Gufkov slows down, he's going to pick up the pace, and then the knockout's just going to present itself, right? I do think Ankalaev gets a knockout. I don't think it's a round one or round two knockout. It's probably going to be a 3, 4, 5 knockout. At least I hope, because otherwise, I don't want to play round one or round two, and playing knockout straight is not even worth it either because it's such a favorited prop. So I'm hoping for the third, fourth, or fifth round knockout due to exhaustion. And when you're tired, taking all these punches from a 205er, you're going to get clipped. Like you saw him clip Alex Pereira. So Ankalaev by knockout, late knockout. But at minus 550, it's like it's such a waste. You can't even take the props. You can't even take it as a parlay piece. The prop will look good, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna look into it afterwards. But for now, Ankalaev via knockout, via cardio maxing. For the second fight, we have everyone's favorite matchup. We have Steve Erceg versus Ramazan Temirov. And this is a close fight, right? And I see a lot of people writing off Steve Erceg, and I see a lot of people high on Ramazan. The community split on this fight. Just like everyone was split on Tommy McMillan versus Alberto Montes, even though we made a lot of money on Tommy McMillan, Dione Barbosa, Fatima Klein, even though we made a lot of money on the Tommy McMillan. That was one of my easiest picks, right? Tommy McMillan, easiest picks. But anyways, look, Steve Erceg came up as a grappler. Okay, at his core, he's a BJJ nerd. But what makes him special is a lot of 99.9% of these BJJ nerds, when they transition into MMA, the striking doesn't come natural, and they can't strike for shit. Steve Erceg is the anomaly that actually was able to learn striking and doesn't look awkward as a striker. A lot of these BJJ strikers, when you watch them strike, you can tell, holy shit, he's a BJJ nerd the way he moves. But Steve Erceg, he knows how to strike, and his striking is honestly pretty. He has beautiful footwork. He has beautiful counters. He has beautiful pull counters. He has his head movement's not really there, but he's very fast, right? He will move forward, move forward. When you commit, he would step back 1, 2. He would move forward, put his head there. When you commit, he makes you miss barely. He makes you graze him because he knows you're about to throw. So he lets you throw, he pulls, and he counters you, right? That's his entire game. Steve Erceg, he jabs, jabs, low kick, jabs, jabs. He waits for you to commit, then he counters you, right? His head is always there to be hit. He doesn't have any head movement. His footwork is beautiful. His striking, his boxing is beautiful. He just doesn't have power. right? He doesn't have power, but his striking is beautiful. His boxing is beautiful. He's a very good striker. He just doesn't have power and doesn't have head movement. And in this matchup here, another thing that I don't like about Steve Erceg is he's not necessarily chinny, right? Like it's a little like if he gets chin here, then he's probably going to become chinny. But I wouldn't say he's chinny just yet. For example, when we not only max bet, but we put a 5K bet on well, it was actually 9K bet on Manuel Cape to knock out and to win against Kyoji. It was because I knew in a 5 round fight, Cape's gonna find that punch. Like Cape's striking is too beautiful for it not to land. Right? He has power and he has good striking. He's gonna knock out Kyoji because Kyoji's chinny. He's so goddamn chinny. I knew he would knock him out. He was getting chinned by Africans who don't even, like they're never gonna see the UFC. They're horrible people, horrible fighters, and they would drop Kyoji. You think Cape's not gonna knock him out? Of course, Cape knocked him out cold. But anyways, Steve Erceg, this is my problem. Ode Osborne, I know it was a weight class up. Ode Osborne caught him with a left hook. Steve Erceg came in, check right hook because Steve Erceg's a southpaw, and drops him pretty bad. But then it doesn't stop there. Against Kai Kara France, same thing, right? Steve Erceg was, outpointing Kai Kara France, and then every single time a Kai Kara France or any striker, like if you were to throw a 1-2 against Steve Erceg, he's just gonna step back, right? So what Kai Kara France did was he threw a 2, and instead of when Steve Erceg stepped back, instead of just resetting, he threw the 2, and as he's throwing the 2, he's stepping with the right foot, right? So he's throwing the rear punch, stepping with the rear leg. So then he's moved like Steve Erceg takes one step back, Kai Kara France takes one step forward, so he's still in range, and he comes with this other rear hand because you switch his stance, and that's what lands on Steve Erceg clean and drops him and knocks him up because again he doesn't have head movement. And then against the fight against Alejandro Costa, same thing, right? Steve Erceg still won, but he lost the first round. But then as Costa was able to download the data, understand how he strikes, Costa hurt and wobbled. I mean, you could say he dropped him. He hurt Steve Erceg pretty bad. Steve Erceg still recovered and won that fight, but Costa hurt him. Costa hurt him bad. And against someone like Temirov, now don't get me wrong, Temirov isn't the best fighter ever. He's never going to be the best fighter ever because of his style. All right, Temirov's style, it's honestly horrible. Like if you look at the fight against Charles Johnson, he only has 2 rounds of cardio, and the reason why he has only 2 rounds of cardio is because he throws every single thing with power. He doesn't just throw a jab just to put it there to get a reaction. He doesn't just throw a jab just to set something up. No, every single thing he throws, everything, is with 100% power, and you hear him blowing out with every single punch. He's breathing out, and because of that, he only has 2 rounds of cardio. In any single 5 round fight, he would lose. If the fight against Charles Johnson, if that was 5 rounds, even though he won the first 2, he would have still lost that fight because of 3, 4, and 5. He only has 2 rounds of cardio, but in that 2 rounds of cardio, man, is he good. Right? If you look at the same combination that Kai Kara France knocked out Steve Erceg with, he used the exact same combination against CJ Vergara because CJ Vergara is taller and longer than him, and every single time Ramazan would come in, he would step back. So he's like, okay, fuck, if you're just going to step up, I'm going to go with you. So he would switch his stance, move forward, and then throw, and it landed cleanly. So the exact same way Kai Kara France knocked out Steve Erceg, Tamarov had, used that against CJ Vergara. And then when he fought, Charles Johnson, and this is honestly a great fight, right? This is a great fight to go off of to pick who you want to win this fight. And it's because of this. Now, I know when you look at Charles Johnson record, you're like, oh my God, he's 19-9, he's so bad. That's actually not true. Charles Johnson is one of the best strikers at 125. I know it sounds crazy, but no. Charles Johnson is one of the best strikers at 125. Okay, in the UFC, he's 8-7. But if we were to eliminate all the wrestlers, right? So Asu, that's 1. Alex Perez, that's 2. Rafael Estevam 3, Cody Durden 4, Muhammad Mukayev 5. That's 5 wrestlers that beat him. I know Alex Perez was a little tricky, but still, Alex Perez at heart, he's actually a wrestler. That's 5 wrestlers he lost to. If you remove those losses, because again, Steve Erceg's not going to wrestle in this match. Oh, sorry, if you just remove those losses and look at who Charles Johnson has lost to that's not a wrestler, he would be 8-2 in the UFC. Don't forget, he knocked out Lona Kavanagh. because via cardio maxing and beautiful striking, he knocked out Joshua Van via cardio maxing and beautiful striking because he was always there. He was always pressuring. He was always in their face. They faded. He didn't. He got the knockout. When Charles Johnson is not fighting a wrestler, he's one of the best strikers at 125 division. And when he fought Ramazan Temirov, he knew it was a striking match, and he knew it. And in that striking match against Ramazan, Charles Johnson is a better striker than Steve Erceg because he's everything that Steve Erceg is, but with head movement, right? Ramazan Temirov won that fight clearly, right? And he clipped and hurt. He didn't necessarily clip him, wobble Charles Johnson, but there was times where, Temirov landed and you could tell that like rattled his brain. Not to the point where he's doing the stanky leg and the chicken dance, but you could tell he had to shake his head. He's like, oh shit, like that was heavy. I can't make that mistake again. And when you look at that fight, in round one and round two, especially in round one, you could see that like Charles Johnson, like he wasn't even trying to strike with Ramazan. Like he was trying to tire out Ramazan because he knew if one of these punches land like cleanly, he's gonna get dropped. And he knew that. So when you watch Charles Johnson the entire round one, he was always pressuring in his face, but he would step back and he would get hit. But majority of the punches, it would be more of a deflection. Like he would block it, but because it's coming out such a force, he would still feel it through the block, right? And even with that, like even though Charles Johnson is let me get the stats right, but same thing here. Charles Johnson was 5'9". Charles Johnson has a 70-inch reach advantage, more height, more reach than Steve Erceg, and he's a better striker than Steve Erceg, and he still lost. And with all those attributes, Ramazan was still fucking landing cleanly, which was crazy. The fact that a 5'4" kid that only has 63-inch reach was landing against Charles Johnson, because Charles Johnson, he uses his reach properly. He knows how to strike. A lot of these UFC fighters, they don't use their attributes at all. And he was landing cleanly, man. Like, honestly, I think Ramazan wins. I think he wins. I think he has a good... I think he wins. I also think that he has a very good chance to get a knockout. It's just, like don't get me wrong. Like Steve Erceg could win this match. Like all he has to do is box out of his range and not get clipped. But that's the problem. It's like to not get clipped in 10 minutes. It's hard, especially against Ramazan. It's like you make one mistake and it's like, can we trust Steve Erceg? Well, no, because Steve Erceg's been clipped in like multiple of his fights because he constantly makes a mistake. He has no head movement. And that's not something that Steve Erceg is going to pick up at the age of 30, 31. So I think Ramazan wins. I think Ramazan probably gets a knockout. But it's going to be a good fight. Great odds in this fight. Anyways, next up, we have Islam Dulatov versus Wellington Turman. Is that how you... Wellington? Like the food Wellington? Like the English food Wellington? That's kind of crazy. Easy match. Wellington hasn't fought in 2-3 years. I don't know where he's been, to be honest, but he's back. He's back for a paycheck. Now, I'm going to rewatch this fight. Well, every single time I do a prediction video, I rewatch every single fighter's fights. And I just finished. But with fights like this, when I really want to look into the props, because I'm not going to be taking Islam Dulatov at a massive favorite, I'm going to be looking at the props. And when I'm looking at the props, I like, for example, in this fight, right? Islam Dulatov to win in round one is minus 200. So if he wins in round one, so be it. I'm not going to do anything about it. Nor am I going to bet it. But if there's a chance that the fight could start round two, or he gets a round two knockout, that's when it gets, enticing, because round two knockouts like 8 times your money. So I'm going to have to go back and see, is Wellington Turman one of those fighters that, moves forward and puts himself in danger to get knocked down in round one? Or is he one of those fighters that kind of like, he knows he's going to lose, so he stalls, right? Because some fighters, when they're put up against a prospect or somebody that has, all finishes, and they know it, they kind of like, they fight to survive. And those are the best fights to bet on. For example, in the Discord, we bet on this was a long time ago, but we bet on Atiba to beat Proliev via decision, 14 times your money, because I knew the Russian, he fights very passively. He doesn't want to get knocked down. That's exactly what happened. So here, I'm going to go back and do the tape to see, is Thurman one of those people? I mean, in his tape, like, he was moving forward. Like, he wasn't really, like, overcommitting and stuff like that. So, and he's not usually, like, that chinny. Like, I want to see, can Thurman survive round one? Like, don't get me wrong. Islam's going to win. We know that for sure. Islam's probably going to find a finish, right? That's what should happen. But I want to find not necessarily value, but I want to see if there's a chance that can round two start. Is there a chance that Dulatov gets a round two finish, a round three finish, or is there a chance that the fight could go to decision? So that's what I want to look into. And then, of course, I'll let you guys know on Twitter. But, anyways, Islam Dulatov via whatever he wants. It's not even close. He should be a minus 5,000 favorite. He's going to win. Easily, it's not even close. Okay, Chanko. Magomed Zaynukov versus Damian Rzepecki. Now, this fight, I'm just going to be upfront. Like, Magomed Chanko is going to win. I'm not sure why everyone is so high on Damien, just because he trained with Ilia Topuria, just because he has I think he has a 100% knockout rate ratio, or 90% ratio, because he went to the decision recently. So he's 10-0, and he's 10-0 with 9 finishes, and he's been training with Ilia Topuria, but none of that means anything to me, because what means to me is tape. I went back and I watched Damien's fights, and he's not dangerous. He has 9 finishes because he's fighting cans. And even when he's fighting those cans, it's not like, oh my god, Damien, he has 5 submission wins. He's such a dangerous grappler. You cannot grapple with him. That's not the case. Oh my god, Damien, he has 4 knockouts. He's such a knockout artist. You can't strike with him. You can't get caught. That's not true either. He doesn't have knockout power. He doesn't have, crazy grappling. It's just the opponents he's fighting are giving it to him. They all gas out and they all die for legs. He submits them. They all gas out and he just knocks them out. In his last fight against I can't even pronounce his name, but Lazakar, it went to a decision because as his fights go on, he fights better and better people. I mean, by better, I mean 13-7, but still, he couldn't knock that guy out, nor could he submit him. And it was a very sloppy and back and forth fight because homie has no power. Like he literally has no power. His striking is mid. Everything about him is mid. Like he's not good. He's below mid. He's not even average. He's below average. And he's fighting Chanko, who has a cardio of a fucking horse somehow, and he throws everything with power, and he throws 100 punches around. He's gonna beat this guy. I'm hoping he gets a knockout. I'm surprised he didn't get a knockout in his contender series. I think Chanko wins 100% out, like 100 times out of 100 times. Chanko wins. It just comes down to does he get a knockout or not, right? I think he does because I honestly think Damien's gonna be kind of like overwhelmed, and the knockout will present itself. So Chanko via knockout, it's not even close. Like not even close. Free money. Now, everyone's favorite fight of the night: Rizvian Kuniev versus Tyrell Fortune. It's not loading, but it is what it is. This fight's garbage. It's honestly a bad fight. I thought, oh my god, I thought there might be a chance that Tyrell Fortune wins. I rewatched their tape. No, Rizan Kuniev should win. The fight probably should go to decision. So Rizan Kuniev by decision. I'm not even gonna break down the fight. And if you know, you know. It's fuck both of them. Cut both of them. Honestly, a waste of fucking half an hour. Forget about that fight. Abu Bakr versus Saeed. That I'm gonna post on my X. Anyways, Walter Walker versus Thomas Petersen. Now there's a dilemma here because for some reason, everyone in their mothers is picking Thomas Petersen. It's funny because in Thomas Petersen's last fight against Pat, I picked Thomas Petersen to win, but then the entire world, I'm not even saying like they weren't split. Every single fucking person on this world picked Pat to beat Thomas, and then Thomas goes in there and fucking beats him. Don't get me wrong, I mean, it wasn't an impressive win, but now all of a sudden, everyone is dick riding Thomas Petersen. Everyone. They love Thomas Petersen. They can't talk enough about him. I'm like, what? Like last fight, you guys were talking shit, and now all of a sudden, you guys are all up in his business. This is crazy to me. But again, that's how casuals are, right? They watch one fight and they go crazy. So it is what it is. Now, when I'm watching Thomas Petersen fights, like he he's not good anywhere. He has good wrestling. His striking is horrible. Like in his match against Pat, he didn't even want to, which is crazy to me. Against Pat, he didn't even want to strike. He would run into Pat and hold him on the cage, and the only reason why he got the knockdown was because he disengaged and caught him there. That doesn't mean that's not really impressive or anything. It just happened. But like the fact, like, if you're not trying to if you're not trying to strike Pat, like, are you really scared to strike with Pat? Are you serious? Because his striking against Vitor Petrino looked a lot better, but then again, Vitor kind of took that round off, and he was slowing down. Look, Thomas Petersen is a good wrestler. He's not going to wrestle in this fight because if he does, he's playing into Walter Walker's game. Thomas Petersen is probably not going to, if you look at Thomas Petersen's recent fights, he's majority of the time wall fucking you, cage fucking you. He's probably not going to do, he's going to do that, but not as much because Walter Walker could just drop into a heel hook. So this is gonna be Thomas Peterson's gonna strike, and the problem here is that we haven't seen Walter Walker striking. We haven't, and it's a problem because the one time we seen his striking, oh my God, it was horrible. Mind you, it was 3 years ago, but the one time that we saw Walter Walker striking, or if you look at the regionals, his striking is god fucking awful. Now, he is young, so there is a chance that his striking has improved because, not all fighters, well, I'd say about 10%, not even 10%, I would say 5% of UFC fighters, as the years go on, they actually improve, while the other 95% of fighters, they don't improve. They're the same fighter since day one. With Walter Walker, because he got 4 heel hooks in a row, I don't know if that's the case, right? I can't tell if Walter Walker's striking has gotten better. Which sucks because like this is he's very good odds here. He's like minus 170, and this is good odds here. And I would love to slam him here, but the problem is I don't know how his striking is. I know his jiu-jitsu is very good. I know his jiu-jitsu is way better than Thomas Petersen. Thomas Petersen probably has the better wrestling. He is 6'6" versus 6'1". But man, like if you look at Walter Walker's takedown against Kennedy, he literally puts his hands up, heads first, and runs into him, which was so embarrassing. Listen, but then again, Thomas Petersen doesn't have the best striking either. I'm gonna pick Walter Walker. I'm probably gonna bet on Walter Walker. Is he a lock? Absolutely not. A lock is Chanko. Chanko's gonna win. Chanko's probably gonna get a finish. Chanko's probably gonna cover all the rounds. Walter Walker should win. He's not a lock though. Absolutely nowhere near a lock. I do think he wins. If I had to bet on, even if this was even odds, I'd probably take Walter Walker. If I'm being honest with you, I'm hoping that his striking got better. I don't think that he could take down Thomas Petersen because we saw what Vitor Petrino did. Vitor Petrino would try to take him down, and man, did Vitor look well. No, actually, no. I take the back. Thomas Petersen was trying to take down Vitor Petrino, and Vitor Petrino had such good takedown defense, which it was honestly impressive. The counters and the reverses he was doing on the ground. I'm taking Walter Walker. I'm gonna probably bet on him. Not a lot though, but it sucks because if Walter Walker goes in there and dominates, I'm gonna be like, oh my god, I should have put more. But then you do the tape and you're like, well, that's why I didn't put more, right? There's no tape to do on this guy. Anyways, Dustin Jacoby versus Mohammed Saeed. Now, I like Jacoby here. I like Jacoby here a lot because when I watched all of Mohammed Saeed's fights, he's not that good. Honestly, he's not even good at all. If you look at Mohammed Saeed's fights and you're impressed, you're a casual. All he does is run. And when he's not running, he does this. He goes, if you're pressuring him and moving forward, all he does is step back, kick, step back, uppercut, step back, right hand. And because he's fighting these bums on the regionals, that gets him the knockout. All he does is step back, right hand, gets a knockout. Step back, uppercut, gets a knockout. Step back, kick, gets a knockout. The one time he fought someone that was durable and decent, it went to the decision because he's not good. He would step back, run like how people they step back. Oh shit, the cage is right behind me. I'm gonna circle out. This idiot step back and runs away because he's a kicker. He needs space. He needs space to fight. He needs space to feel confident. If you pressure him, he doesn't feel confident. If you fight in boxing range, he doesn't feel confident. If you fight in the clinch, he doesn't feel confident, right? He's not a good striker. If he goes in there and head kicks knockout Jacoby, that's not because, oh my god, Saeed is so good. It's because fucking Jacoby's retarded. He probably made a mistake. Saeed's striking, he's very mid. He's not good. He's really not. He's an average fighter, probably below average, because he does little flimsy taekwondo kicks. And I'm like, Jacoby, please, you're better than this. Fight long, and you're gonna win. Like Jacoby could win by decision. Like if Jacoby doesn't put on the pressure and just fights long, I think Jacoby's faster. I think Jacoby has the experience. I think Jacoby's the better striker. Now, we see this happen sometimes where the young guy is fighting the old guy, and the young guy isn't as good as the old guy, but because he's younger, more athletic, he finds a fluke knockout. If that happens, so be it. But if this is not a fluke knockout, I think Jacoby wins this. I think Jacoby could get a knockout. I think Jacoby could get a decision. It's honestly going to be an awkward fight just because Mohammed Saeed isn't going to commit, right? Like, if you look at Dustin Jacoby's fights, he's a very good counter puncher, counter striker, and that's how he gets majority of his knockouts. And Mohammed Saeed doesn't really go first. So it's gonna be a stalemate. But regardless, Dustin Jacoby, he fights good, man. He's very long. He fights long. He has a knockout power. He's fought people 10 times better than Muhammad Said. If Jacoby loses this fight, I would honestly, he should retire, right? Because this is a very winnable. Like as long as he goes in there healthy and fights smart, like he has been, he should win this fight easily. Okay. Now, oh, this is a good fight. Santiago Paz. Oh, I can't even say his last name. Anyway, Santiago versus Sam Patterson. Sam Patterson wins this all day. The one thing that I don't like about Sam Patterson is he fights like a tall person, and a tall person fights with their chin up, right? If you look at a lot of tall people, uh, a lot of novice tall strikers, I should say, and the reason why I'm saying that is because Sam Patterson isn't a striker. He's a BJJ nerd who fell in love with his hands. So a lot of these people who just started striking, they fight upright. Tall people, they fight upright with their chin up high. Every single Sam Patterson fight, his chin is up. When he's throwing, his chin is up. When he's engaging, his chin is up. When he's exiting, his chin is up. His chin is up all the fucking time. No one has taken advantage of it. Someone will in the future. And no, I'm not going to count the Yamul Ashmal's fight because that was at 155. He was drained. He caught a kick. He was on one foot. That happens. So that's not really impressive knockout. But in the future, as Sam Patterson fights better people, they're going to clip him. They're going to knock him out cold because you cannot strike with your chin up like that. Because he doesn't have head movement. He just puts his chin up and leans back. But anyways, that's his only flaw. So if Santiago gets a knockout, it will be via, Sam Patterson putting his chin up, which isn't likely. Now, Santiago, um, he just walks, man. He walks into counters. He walks into knockouts. Like if you watch his fights, he's moving forward into hooks. If you look at how he's been knocked out and knocked down, it's literally by when he's like he comes in, then as he's disengaging, he gets hit with the hook. Santiago, he's past his prime. He's 39 years old, turning 40 this year. He's slow. He's not a master at one specific martial art. He's not very good at one thing. Like some people are very good grapplers, some people are very good strikers. He's just an MMA fighter. He got left hooked by Danny Rodriguez. He got left hooked by Kevin Holland. He got left hooked by what's that guy's name? Jiling Liang, the guy who caused Buttis knocked out, the Chinese guy. And the reason why he's been knocked out 3 times by 3 left hooks is because as he's disengaging, his right hand isn't there. His right hand is down, his chin is up, and they catch him with the left hook, and he gets knocked down. The problem is when you look at Sam Patterson's recent fights, he's knocking everyone out with the right hooks. Because it's the same thing. When he fought Trey Waters was right hand boom. When he fought Danny Barlow's exiting right hook boom. Like he's knocking everyone out with right hooks. Well, hopefully it turns into left hooks tonight on Saturday morning. But if you watch his fights, as when those fighters are disengaging, he catches them with the hook, and that's exactly how Santiago's been getting knocked out. I am hoping that this is a club and sub situation. Sam Patterson hurts him, drops him, he dives for the leg. Sam Patterson locks a submission. I'm hoping for that because for a cycle play, we had a cycle play last week. I want to hit another one, so I'm hoping in this fight, I'm hoping Sam Patterson either gets a submission or goes to a decision. Just because the knockout is like plus 120, horrible odds, and plus, like, am I really gonna be playing Sam Patterson at minus 400? I mean, I probably am, but it just sucks. Sam Patterson, better striker, better grappler, better everywhere. Sam Patterson should win this easily. I'd be surprised if Santiago even wins a round. All right, Ishmael Bonfim versus Axel Sola. Honestly, Ishmael Bonfim has been one of the disappointments of the UFC. In his last fight against Chris Padilla, I don't know why everyone loves Chris Padilla because Chris Padilla is dog shit. Ishmael Bonfim, he just quit. Like you could see, like round one, he's throwing 100%. When round two comes, he slows down and he honestly just he lays down and gives up. Like he stops throwing, he stops throwing, he takes a knee, goes on his backs, and he just quits. I think he just gassed, you know. And Ishmael Bonfim, he always has a good round one, but he always slows down, you know. In this fight against Axel Sola, Axel Sola is very underrated. He's very underrated because a lot of people didn't watch him in the regional scenes. He was a champion at Ares FCs for like 4 or 5. He defended his belt like 4 or 5 times, and Axel Sola is big. I know it says 6 foot versus 5'8", and I'm not like sure he's 4 inches taller, but I'm not even talking about the height. I'm talking about the um, Axel Solis frame. He has a very wide frame. He's a very big guy. He's very durable. He has very good cardio. He has very good striking. In this fight against Ishmael Bonfim, honestly, Ishmael Bonfim's gonna go 100%. He's gonna realize Axel Sola's not he's not gonna be able to knock out Axel Sola. That's gonna break his morale, and Axel Sola's just gonna take over because Axel Sola puts on the pressure. He eats the punches and he throws back. And in this fight, Axel Sola he's gonna beat him. And if Bonfim quits again, Axel Sola should get a knockout. If Bonfim doesn't quit, it would go to decision. But I do think Axel Sola will get a knockout. He's very clean. His striking is clean. His durability is there. He was willing to fight you in the pocket. I think Axel Sola wins this fight. I think he gets a knockout here. I honestly like the price. Minus 180 is pretty decent, to be honest, because I don't think Ishmael Bonfim wins this at all. If he, I really don't. I mean, I'm remembering his fights that I watched. When I watched his fights yesterday, and against against Chris Padilla, he looked horrible. Against Nazim Sadakov, he actually looked very good. Um, and again, of course, fucking BSD. Yeah, I don't know. Ismail Bonfim has just been a very big letdown. It's honestly sad because he was like in his early fights, like he looks like in round one he looks good, fast, strong, very good combinations. Then he just fades hard. So if he fades here, he's gonna lose easily. Anyways, Magomed versus Brenson Ribeiro. Now, of course, Magomed's minus. Let me see. Magomed is minus 800. Magomed should win. Magomed should get the knockout. Brenson Ribeiro's a retard. Now, when I watch Magomed's tape, he's not that good. He's very beatable. Again, I know it's his first fight in the UFC, and until he fights some decent, durable, ranked guys, until then he should, cruise. But again, in this fight here, it's like if someone's minus 800, okay, first of all, Magomed's gonna win. He should win via finish. But when someone's a minus 800 favorite, like I can't play him at minus 800, nor am I gonna play him at minus 800. So I kind of look for other ways to play him. So like in this case, like when I'm trying to play Magomed, right? His minus one, his round one props are so juiced. I don't want to play it at all. So then I go and I do tape, and I'm like, okay, is this guy that good of a striker? Where like, oh my god, he's knocking people out cold. No. Again, he's fighting people in the UAE Warriors, and they're literally walking into his shit. He's not one of those strikers where it's like, oh my god, he's so good. He catches you, right hand, boom. He's not tricking you. He's not setting up these knockouts. He's literally just moving forward and throwing, or he's moving backwards. They walk into his punches, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? And I guess against Brenson Ribeiro, Brenson's retarded. If Brenson Ribeiro was a slow, like if you look at Brenson Ribeiro's fights, like the second the bell rings, he's in your face, he's going, he's throwing, and it sucks because I wish he wasn't like that. I wish he was more laid back because if he was, this fight would start round two, if not round three, which that's where the money is. If round two could start, there's a lot of money there. If round three could start, you make a killing there. It just sucks because Brenson Ribeiro's a retard. And when you look at Brenson Ribeiro's fights, he just runs into you head first. He was having success against Yakyaev, but Yakyaev just took him down, right? Same person that lost to fucking Umar Sy, to be honest. That's honestly embarrassing looking back in hindsight. But yeah, it sucks because if Brenson Ribeiro wasn't so aggressive, this fight would start round two, and there's very good money on that. For round two to start, it's dog odds. You know, I don't know. I might. Magomed's gonna win. For God's sake, I'm gonna rewatch this again. I might sprinkle Ben Brenson because man, his striking looked clean against Yakyav. I honestly don't think Yakyav is good, but anyways, fuck this fight. Now, Nuryov Ariev versus Mike Davis. Damn, Nurulo Aliev versus Mike Davis. Uh, Aliev via decision. If he gets a knockout, I'll be surprised. He's the better striker. His cardio is decent. I just hope he gets a finish, to be honest. Um, I honestly hope he gets a finish. Man, never mind. Two finishes? Because I know in the past three fights he's been on decisions. Yeah, he probably gets a decision here too. I was thinking Mike Davis might get an upset here, but then when I was rewatching Mike Davis' fights, I'm like, man, this guy could really be controlled and taken down. So I'm gonna go with Neuro Aliev. I don't know if I'm gonna bet this. I might bet this for a ladder, if we're gonna restart it, but Neuro Aliev decision, very simple pick. Again, Cody Gibson versus Abdul Hussein. I love this fight. I love this fight because Cody Gibson was well, like submitted 6 5 times, 5 6 times, and Abdul Hussein loves his submissions. So I'm hoping Abdul Hussein isn't a fucking idiot. I'm hoping he does tape and he's like, oh my god, Cody Gibson, his flaws are in the wrestling, is in the grappling. Oh my god, Cody Gibson has been submitted 5 fucking times. I'm gonna go in there and submit him because Abdul Hussein, he's very good. Actually, like Abdul Hussein is quite well rounded, but I honestly think he excels in his submissions. I mean, sure, he has 5 knockouts, but he does excel in those submissions. So I'm hoping he gets a submission so he can get the hardest leg of the cycle out. He's gonna win regardless. I'm just hoping he wins via submission, just so we could get the submission leg all finished for the cycle parlay. I'm gonna double check right now. Did the odds come out for his submission? If you give me a moment. Where is this fucker? Right here. Oh, it should be good odds. Yeah, Abdul Hussein by points plus 210. Abdul Hussein by knockout 230. Abdul Hussein by submissions 220. Ah, oh, fuck, 230 is not that good. But, anyways, this is good because when you have all the props, points, knockout, and submissions all at 210, 230, 230, that means they don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, which is good. So I'm hoping he gets a submission. I do think he gets a finish. Via I take that back. It's either submission or decision. I'm leaning submission. Just so we could have the cycle parlay. Now it's gonna take me time to come out with the bets prior to tomorrow and Friday. But if I'm looking back at it, right, it's like Abdul Hussein via submission, Alia via decision, fuck the Ribeiro fight, Axel Sola maybe by knockout, Sam Patterson knockout. Oh, I love the points because points is 410, bro. Like if I'm Santiago and I'm 40 years old, I'm gonna go into this fight just trying to survive and get a paycheck, right? Sam Patterson via decision, boom, cash it. But then again, Sam Patterson, honestly, he's one of those him and Steve Erceg, they're the rare types because Sam Patterson has very good striking for a fucking BJJ nerd, and I'm impressed because a lot of these BJJ nerds they can't strike for shit, even if they've been in the UFC for years. Justin Jacoby, that's decision or knockout. Walter Walker, forget about that fight. Kuniev via decision. Chanko via knockout. Islam Dulatov via finish, most likely. Hoping it goes to decision, though, to make money. Steve Erceg versus Ramazan, decision or knockout. And then Magomed via knockout. Like, I don't even think decision is a chance in the Magomed fight just because of how bad Bogdan. Like it's also a mental thing, right? Like Bogdan was getting ready for a 3 round fight, not a 5 round fight, and he knows that. So I honestly think that like when you're in the cage and you're fighting, you get thoughts, right? So it's like, oh my, like, am I gonna like, do I have the cardio for 5 rounds? I probably don't. If I'm gassing in 3 round fights and I didn't get ready for a 5 round fight, I'm probably gonna gas. So he's gonna go in there round one, round two. Oh fuck, I didn't get the finish. I'm gassing out. It's over. And when those thoughts come into your mid fight, you're screwed. I think that's what's gonna happen here. Anyways, I have no editor. I have no one. So please forgive me for the quality of the videos. I have no choice. Take it or leave it.